Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have discovered a slight conundrum. First, let me tell you the story of what I've been doing. I've been working with 6.5 Grendel, and I went to size 25 pieces of brass. Now these are pieces that have not been fired, but I had them loaded and pulled them down and took out the powder and the spirit gold dots that were in them because we're going to be doing some load workup with this brass, and I wanted to get some free. Anyway, because these had the primers in them, I went to pull the depriming pin out of the expander, and I didn't think anything of it. I took off the expander ball and popped out the decapping pin. I didn't see any problem until I went to put things back together. Slipped the decapping pin in. And put it back on the shaft. Now, I want you to watch very carefully. See that wobble? That's unacceptable, and I had never really noticed it before. I had noticed the decapping pin going back and forth a little bit as I screwed the die down into the press, but I figured it was just a not quite straight decapping pin, but it worked fine, and I hadn't even taken a second thought to it. But take a look at that. This is the expander ball and decapping pin shaft from my Hornady custom grade 6.5 Grendel die. Now, I thought, I really don't know what to do about that. I wonder if all of my dies are like that. So, I pulled down the 6.5 Creedmoor die. The only way you can really tell these apart is the shaft for the 6.5 Creedmoor one is longer, and we've got a large size decapping pin in there. So you can tell them apart. I'm hoping these swap between the two because the 6.5 Creedmoor one is perfect. I don't have a gauge to measure concentricity run out, but it looks just about perfect to me compared to the one from the 6.5 Grendel die. Let's tear down... I've got a 223 Remington die as well. Let's tear that down and see what we get. And that one looks perfect, or just about as perfect as you could expect. So, that's good. I'll put that one back in my 223 die. And I won't worry about that. What that makes me wonder is, did we get a bad die? Is this gigantic wobble a cause of some of our accuracy problems? I kind of want to do a test just to find out, sizing brass with the expander ball assembly from the 6.5 Creedmoor die. I'm going to contact Hornady and ask them to replace this and have them send me a new one. I will not publish this video until I have heard back from them and give them a chance to make this right. I really wish I had caught this sooner because I have no way to know if this has caused a bunch of accuracy problems or not. I would think that expander ball not sliding through the case neck the same way every time and straight could really mess things up and throw off our group, because it's going to expand one side just a little more than the other, and that can't have done anything good for our groups. So this brass that I've been working on, though I hate to work the necks anymore, I'm going to see if I can swap things out and put the small decapping pin into the expander assembly from the 6.5 Creedmoor and run this brass back through. Okay, so I was doing a little more messing around with these, and what I found was the wobble is completely in this shaft right here. Can you see that? The shaft of the 6.5 Creedmoor one is just fine and spins concentric. So if I put the expander ball from the 6.5 Grendel onto the stem of the 6.5 Creedmoor die, it spins much better, almost true. Now you can see just a little bit of wobbling. That decapping pin isn't perfectly straight, but you can see that there's much less run out in the expander ball itself. There may still be a little bit. Let me take out that decapping pin so that we can see it without it, and see if it looks like there's any. The little side-to-side motion we're getting is probably from my finger back here. I'm going to spin it as true as I can. We may be getting the slightest bit, but not nearly the amount that we were getting from the stem that came with the 6.5 Grendel. Alright, so I contacted Hornady, and the next day they got back to me and said that they're sending me a new Zip Spindle. This is the one, now this is the straight one. I've got the wonky one in the press, and I'll tell you why. I was not going to test this, but then I was thinking about the series that I'm about to do about hunting down the accuracy issues in our 6.5 Grendel, and I realized that I couldn't do that before I knew for 100% sure in my own mind whether this problem that we had been having with accuracy was related to the crooked spindle that the expander ball goes onto. So what I did is I sized 10 pieces of brass with the good spindle, the good straight spindle, and that's on this side. Then I sized 10 pieces of brass with the crooked spindle, and those are on this side. What I'm going to do is load these up with our 123 grain AMAX to our standard load with AR comp of 26.9 grains and CCI 450 primers. I did dig back out the Hornady brass and get it sized and prepped. I did everything exactly the same. I didn't trim this time because everything was very well within spec. But chamfered, deburred, all that good stuff. This is going to be the 4th firing on this Hornady brass. But I wanted to make sure that everything was as close to the same as we've been doing as possible. So we're going to be using this Hornady brass. The primer pockets may be a little bit loose, but we'll see when we get there. I'm going to go ahead and load these up. If I have any trouble or any issues with this brass, I will let you know. Otherwise, I'm going to see you out at the range where we will compare the groups shot from the brass sized with the crooked stem and the brass sized with the straight stem and see if we get any difference. I don't know whether I'm hoping that there's a difference or not. I guess for purpose of semi-scientific testing, I guess that's probably a good thing that I don't have a bias either way. Hoping that I at least find something out and that we don't get results that just confuse even more. So anyway, I will see you guys out at the range. Okay, so stupidly, I forgot to turn on the camera and record the first group, but here it is. And now I'll tell you what our setup is. We are shooting the Zip Spindle test, and I've got 10 rounds loaded with the crooked spindle and 10 rounds loaded with the straight spindle. And we're testing to see if we get any accuracy difference between them. That first group we shot, as you saw, was, well, it was really good. And that was with the crooked spindle. So, I don't know quite what to think about that. But, I'm going to move on here to the straight spindle. Lower left target. Alright, let's shoot the next group. This one should be with the crooked spindle, although I'm starting to doubt whether I switched around the sets, which is perfectly possible. Yeah, that group's a little bit more what we're used to seeing with this load, although actually a little worse. Alright, last group. Yeah, that one was shaping up to be good. Well, there you have it, folks. I suppose, though we can pretty much see what's going on right now, we'll get back to the bench and talk about it a little bit. All right, we are back down here at the bench looking at these groups. And first thing, of course, look at that beautiful first group, 0.53 inches. That is, without a doubt, the best group, the best 5-shot group anyway, that I have ever shot with the Grendel. Looking at the other groups, not so impressive. 1.2 inches on the next group with the crooked stem, according to this sheet. 1.4 and 1.5 with the straight stem. Does this tell me anything? No, because look at this. This is a group I shot 5 shots, pretty much as fast as I could get the crosshairs on the center there, with ammunition that I had previously loaded in Hornady brass, everything the same. This is ammo that I had loaded up for a PRS match way back when. And it shot just as well, if not actually slightly better, than these groups here. So we were left with more questions. My first question is, did I get these two backwards? Because these two groups inexplicably were better, and this one quite a heck of a lot better than these two groups. Did I somehow size the brass and put it in a different spot in the reloading tray than I thought? Did I put the brass sized with the crooked stem in one place and think I put the straight stuff there? Anyway, I'm not sure. Either way, the results aren't too clear because this next group was, you know, our normal size of 1.2 inches. And that's not really telling us anything. So, we're left with more questions, as usual. But this kind of follows along with what I've been thinking, that crooked stem probably didn't have much of an effect on accuracy. Either way, this package from Hornady just came, and this is 2-ish days later after I put in the request with Hornady. They have sent me a brand new Zip Spindle, and they did it very, very quickly. And let's just make sure. Yep, this one's straight. No apparent problems there. Either way, whether it makes a difference or not, I want to have a straight one in there. So that's good that they sent it. Next up in 6.5 Grendel, I'm going to shoot one more bullet before we start making some drastic changes to the gun to find out why our average accuracy is around what this group is showing right here. And then we're really going to start ripping into the gun to see what we can do to fix this accuracy. No fixing that. That's kind of my target. If I can get my average groups to between 0.5 and 0.8, I'll be thrilled in the end. So that's what's coming up. Stick around. Lots more 6.5 Grendel to come, because it is, at the moment, my most infuriating cartridge. One thing I'll throw in here at the end of the video, I have not mentioned it before on the channel, but the channel does have an Instagram page, and it's only been up since the first of the year or so, but I have neglected to talk about it on any of the videos. It is at the Outdoor Generalist channel, and I tried to make that shorter, but all of the usernames similar to that but shorter were already taken. So that's what we got at the Outdoor Generalist channel on Instagram, and I'll put up pictures of stuff that I'm doing, little previews of videos to come, and probably some short videos that are too short to make into YouTube videos. So thank you for watching. Y'all have a good one, and come back soon. Thanks.